Ginsomin. Stay super, beat diabetes.
Hello there, and a very warm welcome to all of you watching us today from whichever part of the world you are. Now, today we are going to talk about something that is very important, especially to us living here in Sri Lanka. Just to take you through some statistics back into the year 2021, 9.8% of the adults of the overall population in Sri Lanka suffers from diabetes. Now, this is an issue that we see. Diabetes is a non-communicable disease that affects many individuals, regardless of their age. Now, today I have with me Mr. Praveen Vishwakumaran, Country Manager for Mega Life Sciences, Sri Lanka. Thank you for joining me today. And today we are talking about this particular pack called Ginsomin. So thank you for joining us today.
Pleasure. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
All right, so we have so much to talk about. I would like to direct my first question to you, and why don't you give us a brief introduction and give us a basic understanding onto what Ginsomin and Mega Life Sciences. What is this all about?
Mega Life Sciences is a company that cares for your wellness. So the company that is committed to spread human wellness, and it's the company Mega Life Sciences started way back in 1983. That's about 4 decades ago.
Right.
In Thailand. And right now we have 2 manufacturing plants in Bangkok and 2 in Australia, in Melbourne. And our footprint spreads across 33 countries in the world, across the continents of Australia, Asia, Africa, and South America. So we have a 7,000 strong committed field force that is involved and engaged in spreading human wellness day in and day out. And our manufacturing plants in Thailand as well as Australia conform to various quality standards like the Australian TGA, the Thai FDA, the German B-Farm certifications, and the WHO GMP standards. So that in the sense we conform to quality standards that meet international expectations. That's a very short brief about Mega Life Sciences. And Ginsomin happens to be our flagship brand. Ginsomin contains red Korean Panax ginseng with 19 vitamins and minerals. So the word Panax is a Greek word that was given by a Russian botanist called C.A. Mayer.
Okay.
So what the word Panax really means is pan is all, right? And axios means to cure. So the word Panax literally means and cure all. So in other words, it's a panacea for all illnesses, a solution for sort of all sicknesses. Mm-hmm. And the word ginseng is the Chinese word, which actually means human, because the ginseng root is in the shape of a human body. So that's about Panax ginseng. Now, ginseng incidentally, happens to be the #1 consumed herbal medicine in the world. So probably about 6 million Americans consume it on a regular basis. And if you look at ginseng, per se, it's a herbal medicine, like I just said. And there are many varieties of ginseng in the world.
Really?
Yeah, so
like
you have the
how
American.
Many are we looking at?
Yeah, so you have the American, you have the Chinese, you have the Russian, you have the Vietnamese, you have the Japanese, and of course the Korean. And of all these, the Korean is supposed to be the purest because it has 24 ginsenosides, the active constituents, compared to 15 of Chinese, 14 of American, and 8 of Japanese.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, that's what Ginsomin contains: red Korean Panax ginseng, the purest of the lot, apart from 19 vitamins and minerals. So together they help you to improve your overall well-being and for general health. So like I said, a lot of people consume it worldwide to improve the physical, mental, and general well-being. So in a way, Ginsomin is a flagship brand of Mega Life Sciences that helps people lead a very healthy life with a lot of wellness, which is also the philosophy of the company.
Right.
That is to spread human wellness.
So that was a brief introduction, and you also covered the ingredients and the primary benefits of Ginsomin as well. I did a little bit of reading and a little chat off there. It is also a food supplement, Praveen, and we also look at it as a way of controlling and normalizing diabetes. I want to just cross-examine and just ask you, a lot of people say diabetes is uncurable. Is that true?
I mean, that was an old school of thought.
Right.
I think the world has evolved and come a long way from then.
Yeah.
So now I think a lot of international experts believe, and we as a company also believe, that diabetes can be prevented, treated, cured, and reversed. Okay.
Reverse.
So,
When you
yes,
say
I
reverse,
think,
Praveen, what do
people
you
can,
mean?
especially type 2 diabetes is also called adult onset diabetes, okay, which normally happens, it doesn't happen in childhood. So
Right.
when somebody is diagnosed with diabetes in childhood, it's type 1 diabetes. But the most common type of diabetes, the most prevalent form of diabetes is type 2, which is also known as adult onset diabetes, which is basically a lifestyle problem. So I think with the right type of lifestyle modifications, I'm sure it is just certainly possible to reverse diabetes. And that is scientifically also validated and proven.
Right. Moving on to my next question for you. Now, Ginsomin, it stands out. I would like to ask you what makes it stand out, because in the market we see many multivitamins, many food supplements coming into the market, and sometimes we might not know which one is the correct one or which one is the right one for me. So I would like to ask you, what makes Ginsomin stand out?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I mean, what's so unique about Ginsomin? Firstly, Ginsomin contains red Korean Panax ginseng, right? Fortified with 19 vitamins and minerals. So what's special is the fact that it's got ginseng in it, apart from the 19 vitamins and minerals. So the ginseng, like I just told you, is the number one. It's a traditional herbal medicine. It has a 5,000-year-old history. 5,000-year-old history. From 1980s, there are a lot of published trials on ginseng that proves the hypoglycemic effect of the herb. Okay, and probably about 1,000 years ago, there was a Chinese Shen Zi Lu, who recorded this in a compendium called the Materia Medica, proving the positive effects and the benefits of ginseng in reducing, elevated sugar levels. So but like I told you, it has multiple benefits. Like for example, the German commissioning monograph also recommends ginseng for convalescing patients or for those to recover from illness. So you have a lot of published trials on ginseng per se, and that's what is so unique and different about Ginsomin. In addition to the 19 vitamins and minerals, which probably is available in a lot of other supplements or things in the market.
Yeah. So now in Sri Lanka, Praveen, you will notice and you would have seen that people live very busy lifestyles. We're always running from point A to B to C, and sometimes it's always a rush. So with people living such busy lifestyles, demanding lifestyles, especially working professionals, taking this supplement, Ginsomin, how will it contribute to one's overall health and lifestyle?
Oh yeah, fantastic. I mean, firstly, when you say somebody is very busy, obviously that's good.
Yeah.
Because they say a rolling stone never gathers moss.
Yeah.
So, so you're busy, that's great. But then with busyness also comes the demand on your body.
Exactly.
And with age also the demand increases, and with your busy lifestyle also the demand by the body increases. So you need to really feed it with the right amount of nutrients. So in the case of Ginsomin, for example, I mean, ginseng has this beautiful properties. One is it reduces stress. Okay, how does it reduce stress? It reduces this stress hormone in our body called the cortisol. So it reduces that. And a lot of, it's also been proven that Ginsomin also improves and increases the amount of dopamine in our body. Dopamine is a hormone for happiness and reward and motivation. So, that also gives you that extra, boost of happiness in your life. And yes, it has a lot of other interesting properties. It can improve your stamina and endurance by increasing the oxygen uptake in your body. So, it's also proven that ginseng can reduce the amount of lactate in your muscles so that you feel less fatigue and less tiredness.
Does it also improve one's ability to focus?
Oh yeah, because ginseng acts on the brain, which is an area of the brain called the hippocampus, which improves your memory, concentration, and focus. So yeah, it's a wonderful herb, and nature has really given us something fantastic. And we have been able to extract and put into a capsule for people to conveniently consume it on a regular basis.
Now, in a country like Sri Lanka, Praveen, we have a lot of traditional remedies, which have been passed from generation to generation. Sometimes you have a sickness, your grandmother will come up with a home remedy. So that is the cultural norm of Sri Lanka. So in terms of sort of creating awareness, How do we sort of promote this Ginsomin, and how do we educate the Sri Lankan masses about the positive impact that this has on if you take it?
So ginseng per se has a lot of history. Like I just said, it's got
Yeah.
a 5,000-year-old history, and for thousands of years there's been a lot of research done on it. It is part of a lot of medicines of the Orient and the world now. So it is a traditional medicine, and I think as a company, Mega Life Sciences also has done a lot of education on this. We were probably the first brand to introduce this product in the market, a product with ginseng in the market. So it was already well known in many parts of the world.
Yeah.
So like I told you, in America or in this part of the world, in this part of Asia, and it's well known. I mean, the Chinese consumer, the Japanese consumer, so many nations and cultures actually consume ginseng.
Yeah.
So ginseng is actually part of the traditional medicine. And with this long history, I guess, and now with your knowledge of what's happening in the world, I think it's pretty automatic, and it's just obvious that people should start using it to experience the benefits, and improve that energy levels, the activity levels, or the health of your body in general.
Yeah. As I mentioned in my introduction, diabetes is a disease that we see, and it is sometimes not a disease that anyone wants to have, considering the fact that if you are a person who loves to eat sweets, that is definitely not something you want to have. But now Ginsomin, we see, is also mostly taken by diabetes patients in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, so generally you can, because ginseng has multiple benefits. Like I said, it can improve endurance, relieve stress. Okay, it's also good to improve your focus and concentration.
Yeah.
And it also can boost immunity levels, and it's really good for overall health. But coming specifically to diabetes, because diabetes, like you rightly said, has a lot of complications. Because what is diabetes? Just prolonged elevation of sugar levels in your blood. So ideally, the sugar should not be in your blood. It should be in the cells and tissues in your body, right? So the glucose should not stay in your blood.
Yeah.
So if it stays for a long period in your blood, what happens is it can cause damage to your nerves. It can cause damage to the blood vessels supplying various organs. That's how it leads to heart disease, kidney failure, lower limb amputations,
it's all interconnected.
blindness, etc. So this ginseng has this fantastic property of moving sugar from the blood in the right direction. So what it really does is, firstly, it can reduce absorption of glucose from the food you take. Secondly, ginseng can also move the sugar or the glucose from the blood into the various organs like liver and muscles. So ginseng also prevents the conversion of glycogen into glucose. So glycogen is the storage form of glucose. It prevents that. So it has a fantastic method of action. So in a nutshell, ginseng can reduce insulin resistance and improve insulin sensitivity. So the sugar is actually not present in the blood for a long period of time. It just goes into the cells and tissues where it is required for its day-to-day activities. Okay, so that's the fantastic property of ginseng in Ginsomin. But in addition, like I said, Ginsomin also has 19 vitamins and minerals in addition to ginseng. So all this also plays an important role. Like for example, the B vitamins in Ginsomin also has a beautiful role of trying to improve your energy levels, which actually drops in people with diabetes. So what happens is, if the glucose or the sugars in your blood and not in the cells, then the cells can't respire or carry out the day-to-day activities. It does not get energy. So by moving it does the job of also supplying the cells with energy for them to do their day-to-day work. So the B vitamins also play this role of releasing energy from the food you take.
Yeah.
Okay. We have B1 thiamine, which is good for the heart in Ginsomin. We have B2, B6, or B3, that is nicotinamide, that can also manage your cholesterol levels, because more sugar in your blood just converts into cholesterol. So excess sugar in our blood in the body gets converted into cholesterol. So these B vitamins also, like especially this B6, B12, folic acid, they also manage cholesterol levels. They can also reduce the risk factors called homocysteine, which is if it is elevated, can cause heart attack and stroke.
Right.
So, and a lot of other minerals also, like zinc is also important for insulin production.
Yeah.
Okay, so like that, I think overall, it's a beautiful capsule. So we have B1, B2, B3, B5, B6. Then we have vitamin D in it, 400 IU vitamin D, which can also reduce your blood pressure. It's good for immunity. It has multiple benefits, improving your calcium absorption in the body for bones. So I think, and all the minerals like calcium, We have iron, we have zinc, we have manganese, magnesium, selenium, the beautiful antioxidant. We have two more antioxidants, vitamin C and E, and we also have vitamin A, which is another beautiful antioxidant which can also improve your immunity levels and protect your blood vessels from damage and they don't become rigid, so the blood clot does not happen. So in a way, diabetes is also a heart disease. So diabetes and heart disease are two sides of the same coin. Okay, so
it's connected.
Yes. So in a way, Ginsomin actually is a fantastic product, if you ask me, because it can do a lot of wonderful things to this person. And of course, addressing the root cause of the problem, that is, elevated sugar levels.
I just want to throw in a question. One might say, okay, I am taking this tablet, Ginsomin.
Yeah.
Does this mean I can still continue eating the normal way I eat, or does dietary restrictions still come into play in terms of in talking about a diabetic patient?
Yeah, so I think, like I just said, Ginsomin, diabetes is actually a lifestyle disease, especially type 2 diabetes, which is diabetes mellitus.
Yeah.
It's actually a lifestyle-related problem. So you're not born with it. It just happens because somebody has prolonged stress, or somebody's not eating properly, or somebody's just obese because they're not exercising or burning the calories they're taking.
Yeah.
So I think if you're just conscious of some of these things, having too much of stress in of course, life has its own challenges. There's a nicer way of handling it.
Definitely.
So yes, people can take the help of Ginsomin. It can also reduce your stress levels. It can also improve your sugar levels. But
that doesn't
lifestyle
mean,
modifications are important. So people practice some good meditation, engage in spirituality, have some right way of thinking, and focus on your diet. You don't have to eat too much of sugar. Avoid refined sugars, red meat, right? Calorie-dense food. So if you probably avoid all of them, and probably stick to more of high fiber diet and eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, and maybe walk. WHO says, World Health Organization just says 30 minutes of brisk walking for 4 to 5 times a week. Okay, so I'm sure somebody can take out 30 minutes in a 24-hour day and do it. So I think all this will also add, and that's the reason we say yes, it can be prevented, number one, and diabetes also can be reversed.
Because a lot of people, I include myself in that aspect as well. You take a tablet and you expect the tablet to do all the wonders of the world, but you have to make in your own effort as well. So
I'm not saying anything is a miracle.
Exactly.
And we're not saying like Ginsomin is a magic pill.
Yeah.
But yes, it has some fantastic properties to help you achieve your goal.
But you also have to do your part.
Yeah, to stay disease-free and lead a healthy life. And in Mega, we say our Mega Dharma is to help people. Our commitment is to help people live healthy as long as they live. Okay, until the last breath you're walking, independent of yourself and not dependent on anything else.
Yes.
By anyone else.
We have seen customers asking about the price increase of the product. Why do you think the price has increased?
The Ginsomin price hasn't increased over the last 2 years. I think the price has remained constant for the last 2 years. Before that, when the Sri Lankan currency tumbled, so the price changed at that point of time. That's because Ginsomin is an imported product. And so imported products actually are subject to price fluctuations, right? So when the rupee weakens, obviously there's going to be a price change. That's on one side. But if you look at Ginsomin, like I just said, it contains red Korean Panax ginseng. Okay, and most of the ingredients we have in Ginsomin are actually from very advanced, evolved, developed countries. If you take our vitamin E, comes from Australia. Vitamin D in Ginsomin comes from Germany. We have iron, that is ferrous fumarate, coming from Hungary. Folic acid from Switzerland. Vitamin B12 from Denmark. Okay, we have vitamin D again in Ginsomin coming from Germany. So most of the ingredients we have in Ginsomin actually come from very evolved, advanced countries. Even the gelatin of Ginsomin comes from Japan and Germany. So they're all subject to price fluctuations, international price changes. But fortunately, over the last 2 years, the price internationally has been stable. So actually, there has been no price change over the last 2 years.
So that answers the question for the public. Now, the Sri Lankan public, Praveen, how have they so far received Ginsomin?
I think so far the response from the public has been really good, quite encouraging for us to continue our work on this brand. And we're continuing to educate people about diabetes and related complications and problems. Also, we are engaging in trying to help people lead a more healthier life as per the company's philosophy of spreading human wellness. So I think, but yes, there's a lot of work still to be done.
Yeah.
I think we are in the process, and we will continue our efforts to help people stay healthy as long as they live.
Now, Ginsomin, this capsule, as we see on the table, has a special cover. What is so special about this, Praveen?
Oh, Ginsomin, yes, I think a lot of care has been taken by the company to give a pack which is really fantastic. If you look at the overall pack of Ginsomin, it stands out in the pharmacy shelves. There are a lot of aesthetics and functionality in this pack of Ginsomin. So you can't really miss it when you go to the pharmacy shelves. But if you open, there's a product information leaflet for people to read and understand. In a nutshell, what the product can really do, all the ingredients, etc., everything is listed in it.
Right.
The quantities. Okay, and then we also have an aluminium foil outside with the company name, Mega We Care, the logo written on it. So this aluminium foil does an important function. It protects the brand, the capsules, from sunlight, humidity, as well as any other pressures that can happen. Okay, on the brand, from sunlight, humidity, and related issues. Right. So you open this foil, and you have the blister. So this is a good, beautiful blister packing of Ginsomin. So this once again is keeps the capsules, maintain the integrity of the capsules, doesn't get them smudged or compressed. Okay, and it also prevents the capsules from adhering to each other. And the capsule itself is a soft gelatin capsule. Okay, so soft gelatin capsule basically improves the bioavailability of the product. So if you actually cut the capsule, you'd see a liquid inside. So what happens is, it's the bioavailability of the product improves. And each capsule, has this beautiful Ginsomin imprinted in it. The brand name Ginsomin printed in each capsule. So that's the amount of effort we've taken to the detail of this product. So both to give it that aesthetic and the functional look, but at the same time to see that the product remains hygienic and lasts its shelf life and delivers on its promise of helping people, providing an active, energetic, strong, happy life, and also to help people stay super and beat diabetes.
So, Praveen, this capsule, I want to ask you, is there a particular age where you have to start taking it? Can children take it? Is there a particular age limit?
Actually, we only recommend for people above 18.
Above 18.
I think the kids should stay away from all this.
Okay.
But we just recommend for people above 18. It's a good age to start. When your demands, the body's demands also increase, and you would probably require an extra boost of energy into your lives.
Yeah. So I would like to ask you, on behalf of all our viewers watching us right now, what is the process with the tablet? Do you take it once a day, twice a day? What is?
Yeah, I think you just take it one capsule a day. Probably after breakfast is a good time. You also remember. And one more thing is, the capsule is also vanilla coated. So it's very palatable, and your compliance is going to be good. And it's convenient to take, because in the good old days, probably people had to make a decoction of the ginseng root in tea or something and take it. So now it's really convenient. It comes in a beautiful hygienic capsule form. Like I just said, beautiful capsule form. Just take it after breakfast, and you're good to go for the whole day. And you're ready to meet all the challenges of the day and enjoy a busy lifestyle and still remain energetic at the end of the day.
So in terms of the vision for Ginsomin in Sri Lanka, what do you see for the next 5 years?
Well, I think the next 5 years, we see the brand probably getting about 15% market share of the entire diabetes population. So I think the prevalence is actually growing. And I think probably today we're talking about 11% of the entire Sri Lankan population being diabetic. And in urban areas, it's much more. It's almost 26% in urban areas. So I think we're talking about probably about 2.5 million people with the problem. And there are a lot of people with pre-diabetes, where people don't even know they've got diabetes. And the damage actually starts happening at that age. So I think we're doing a lot of education work and creating awareness about this problem. And hopefully with our recommendations and with the brand Ginsomin, I think we should see that more people use it and get the benefit of the product. And then also stay free from diabetes at the end of the day.
Another question that people often have when they buy, especially capsules, tablets, supplements, vitamins, etc., is it endorsed by the government? So I would like to know if there are accreditations and if it's established.
Yeah, like I think Ginsomin is, I told you, manufactured in a plant that conforms to international quality standards, like the WHO GMP standards, and many other accreditations to the manufacturing plant. And Ginsomin per se as a brand is available in many countries where Mega operates. We have our operation in 33 countries, and many markets in many countries we have the brand Ginsomin. So that proves it all. And then in Sri Lanka also, I think Ginsomin registered with the Department of Ayurveda, the traditional medicine category.
Right.
So it is registered.
So that answers our questions. Now moving on into another moment that I would like to ask you. This has been in existence for quite some time.
That's right.
So in terms of connecting it to Sri Lanka, I think you would have had at least one moment where you would have felt extremely proud so far leading this journey as well. So is there any moment that really stands out in your journey?
Yeah, I think yes, we're extremely proud that Mega was the first to introduce a brand of this nature for the benefit of the people and the population of Sri Lanka. And I think the response we've got so far has also been very encouraging. And I think when people really tell you that, you know, their sugar levels are under control after many, many years. I mean, when people express satisfaction after using our product, or when people say, okay, you know, I really feel good when I take one capsule every day. So that gives you the greatest sense of satisfaction. And in a way, you feel you're doing the right thing. Okay, so yeah, you know, in a form of the response from people, there was one person who also said, hey, I'm off insulin, you know, after taking it. So probably his levels are actually, his blood glycemic levels are actually improving. And with probably everything else in place, his lifestyle and other things in place. And so he attributes it to Ginsomin. So I think that's a good sign for us, you know. It's very encouraging and very positive for us.
Praveen, are there any side effects that come when you take this capsule?
Yeah, I think, you know, Ginsomin falls under this category called GRAS. GRAS is generally recognized as safe in America.
Okay.
So it comes under the GRAS category, generally recognized as safe. So that way, I think, you know, it's absolutely safe because what Ginsomin actually contains is red Korean panax ginseng, right? Which is a naturally grown root. Along with 19 vitamins and minerals. The vitamins and minerals are essential for your body, for your day-to-day work. And they're important for the formation of all the hormones and enzymes in your body, for your body to work properly. So you need these vitamins and minerals also to protect your body, the antioxidant effect it offers, preventing free radical damage to your body. And also at the same time, they also are involved in many reactions in the body, like releasing energy, okay, protecting the internal organs and things like that. So that's what goes into Ginsomin. So it's nothing really, you know, I mean, so it's absolutely safe in that sense. And I think, you know, people using Ginsomin over a long period of time for long-term use also, you know, is absolutely fantastic, perfect.
I would like to also ask you, as a country manager, what advice can you give our public watching us right now, you know, in terms of living a healthy lifestyle, in addition to, you know, how we see Ginsomin constantly supporting healthy lifestyles.
Yeah.
What is your advice to the public?
Well, I think health is the greatest wealth, right? So I think you need to stay healthy because most of us run a marathon. So now the life expectancy actually has gone up to, let's say, 74 and 78 on an average. So you want to live that long, healthy, free from disease and stuff like that. So it's important to be conscious of that, of what you eat. It's important to exercise. Even mentally, you need to keep your mind healthy, clean. And of course, be kind and caring. That's also very important. So some good qualities of a human being will help you lead a very good life.
Finally, to wrap things up, where can we buy this capsule?
Ginsomin is available in almost all supermarkets and pharmacies. It's probably available in about 2,500 outlets in this country.
Is a prescription needed by a doctor? You can just buy it over the counter.
No, it's an absolutely, you just buy it over the counter. It's your health, so you can take the capsule and your health in your hands. So yeah, you can just buy it off the counter.
All right. So I want to thank you for joining us today. And I was in conversation with Mr. Praveen Vishwakumaran, Country Manager for Mega Life Sciences, Sri Lanka.
Thank you.
Ginsomin. Stay super, beat diabetes.